Ethereal wind drones hum beneath the hush of gathering dusk. A single Celtic flute enters, breathy and high, tracing a descending motif in A minor. Subtle frame drums like a distant war march, slow and restrained. Low string pads swell beneath, a bed of harmonic mist. Stone chimes echo at irregular intervals, as if struck by young spirits. Ambient choir pads, wordless, ghostly, drift in the distance. Flute sustains a long note, fading into silence.
Flute returns with a gentle, stepwise melody, heroic but restrained. Wooden harp plucks in triplets, echoing each phrase. Light rains tick textures, simulate drifting fog. Drones deepen, rumbling earth tone in the bass register. Melody repeats, slightly varied, ascending 2 more steps. Distant horn-like synth calls from afar, faint, mournful, proud. Tapestry of sound thickens by degrees. Tempo lifts slightly, pulse becomes more defined.
Handpan joins, harmonizing with the
Fluty shifts to modal Dorian,
hinting at resolve.
Choir swells subtly, joining in unison with flute line.
Deep log drum hits every third beat.
Steady, sovereign.
Wind gusts sample and reversed, creating ghostly sweeps.
Fuller harmony, strings rise in gentle count. Flute soars into upper register, bold, lyrical, triumphant. Choir expands into 3-part harmony. No lyrics, only vowel tones. Harp appreciates rapidly beneath, like sunlight breaking through fog. Bell-like tones shimmer in stereo field, crystalline, magical.
Drum pattern builds, layered bordron, soft but driving. A sense of rising legacy fills the space.
Flute descends again, more receptive. Harp simplifies single note responses. String section plays long, legato suspension. The Gaelic inspired whistle echoes in the far left channel.
Gradual reintroduction of ambient forest sounds, distant ravens rustling ivy. Low didgeridoo-like drone grounds the harmony, melody evolves, new motif suggesting renewal.
Return to chorus theme, now richer. Choir doubles flute, an octave below for gravitas.
Additional layer. Frequency now in rhythmic.
Drums more urgent but not rushed. March of returning kin, the heroic theme ascends more confidently this time.
Emotion swells, pride, sacrifice, duty remembered.
Sudden hush, only a sustained cello note remains. Flute re-enters with improvisational cadenza, ornamented free occasional chime strikes irregular like heartbeats.
A whispered Latin chant begins, lay beneath.
Still texture shift, crystal resonance like light on old armor. Gradual build, not in volume but in presence.
Low horns re-enter, play in sustained triads.
Flute returns to main theme, now in major mode. Red plays in quadruple time, a sense of resolution. Strings and choir intertwined in rich polyphony, smoke like granular paths drift behind the melody. Occasional thunder, distant symbolic, every instrument feels ancient and honored. Melody culminates in a high sustained note. Final chorus string united in heroic climax. Choir sings open vowel, high in harmony. And pipes in harmony, spiraling upward.
Bells, drums, harps, strings, interwoven tapestry, a feeling of legacy honored, duty fulfilled.
Instruments fade one by one. First drums, then strings, then choir. Flute plays final phrase, simple alone.
Last note lingers, then disappears into ambient wind. Only the low earth drone remains. Faint chime echoes 3 times. Silence descends like fog upon the hall. Ethereal wind drones hum beneath the hush of gathering dusk. A single Celtic flute enters, breathy and high, tracing a descending motif in A minor. Subtle frame drums like a distant war march, slow and restrained. Low string pads swell beneath, a bed of harmonic mist. Stone chimes echo at irregular intervals, as if struck by young spirits. Ambient choir pads, wordless, ghostly, drift in the distance. Flute sustains a long note.
Low drone of bagpipes emerges from silence, sustained like morning fog across stone. Bodhran taps a slow, steady pulse, 1 beat per breath. Reverb heavy air fills the space, faintly echoing as if within vast stone walls. A second bagpipe layer enters, harmonizing a 5th above. No melody yet, only texture, breath and tension. Wind-like scent subtly underscores, mimicking distant breath of the land. Main bagpipe melody begins in D, mixolydian, simple, dignified, stepwise. Broad run increases slightly in complexity and offbeat taps. High harmonic whistle layer flutters like a bird above the hall roofs. A bass drone hums beneath, felt more than heard. Melody repeats with slight ornamentation. Grace notes trills on strong beats. Each phrase resolves downward like a bow after a vow. Quadrant shifts slow glissando. Like sky brightening, a deep gong strikes once, echoing into silence. Full harmonic layer blooms, bagpipes in harmony, Tavern driving like a war drum. Melody ascends, triumph within restraint, chanting voices swell beneath. Timbre remains, march like solemn and proud. Runes on the wall seem to pulse with faint blue light in tide. Melody returns now, doubled with low Yulin pipes. Tavern plays in 6/8, Vokin a Gaelic lemon turn to strength. High whistle returns with a counter melody, occasional metallic chime. Wind grows louder, doors creak in distant corridors. Fire now sings in Latin phrases, surge or lay or rise or lie. Bagpipes more aggressive, variation, drone shifts to G, creating tension. Echo effect widens, as if the hall expands in spirit. Sudden hush, only Tavern remains. So slow, ritualistic, bagpipes breathe silence, then a lone piper begins a new theme in minor, cello-like tones blend beneath, mourning the fallen faint, whispers in old Gaelic loop like ghosts in slow return. All instruments be built from silent weddings. Melody now within inversion, strength refined by memory. Choir returns with layer harmonies, tensions adds frame, drum and stone clap for duration, harmony in 3 layers. And now sings in Latin phrase, sings Latin phrase. And now sings in Latin phrase, sings Latin phrase. All fades but Tavern slowing. Final drone lingers, then a single high note fades into sky. Wind returns highways. Music box motif begins, delicate crystalline, echoing in space. Single high string sustains like a distant star. Faint resonance of stone settling beneath the mountain. Low cello drone emerges beneath, steady, patient. Wind-like texture fades in, distant, breathless. Melody repeats, slightly warmer. Subtle harp glissando. A single chime rings deep within the earth. Music box slow, slightly distorted as if submerged in memory. String layer builds. Viola enters with counter movement. Cello carries a solemn progression. Music box retreats but lingers in reverb. Double bass center, slow pulse like heart of the mountain. Febio, no, a synthesized breath tone mimicking ancient trees. High violin tremolo above like circling vulture or spirit. Rising tension in harmony, minor lifts to major. A single gong strikes, muted. Echoes decay over 15 seconds. Heart plucks return, now in pairs. Choir-like pad swells beneath, wordless. Music box returns, faster tempo, more urgent. Violins ascending canon, drone deepens, sub-bass resonance. Time feels suspended, one high note sustains, trembling a deep breath in the mix, almost vocal. Drum. Not yet, but something stirs. Fully circular. Triumph in D major. Music box now embedded in strings. A core of memory within glory. Horns suggested by Roy swells. Centered in rolls distant, echoing tunnels. Fire pad ignites. Angelic Latin toned melody soars, played by violins, echoed by flute tone. Bells ring in harmony, 7 notes ascending. The lair blooms with light and sound. Victory is here, but earned. Return to stillness. Only music box and a single cello. A new theme, gentler affected. Violas weave beneath. Harp returns, gliding. Wind sound shifts, now warmer. Cave water trickle, subtly mixed in. Distant low choral hum, not Latin but primal. A single Latin phrase echoes. Gloria Montis Eterni, glory of the eternal mountain.
Orchestra returns,
Fuller than before.
come on, stronger.
Horns confirmed, not real, but synthesized glory horn.
Fire rises in harmony.
Music box now doubled, one original. 1 octave higher, string run swirl upward like spirits ascending. Tonal center holds unshakable triumph. Joy tempered with reverence. Joy tempered with reverence.
Drone returns darker.
Music box distorts, slightly unbalanced.
Low cello motif.
Questioning, did the dragon fall or sleep?
Whispers in reverse audio.
Unfocused, one deep gong.
Longer decay.
Silence for 4 seconds. Then, a single high music box note rebuilt. New string motif, peaceful, vibrio simulated with breath pad. Music box now plays new variation. Hopeful.
Wider sustain.
Major 7th chord. Water sounds closer. A distant bird cries.
Synthesize haunting.
Embers fall in sound design.
Tiny clicks and pops.
This is not victory over life, but balance restored.
Final sargini.
Longer grandeur, full out texture. Imagined every layer return.
Music box central.
Now unbreakable.
Fire ascend.
Gongs, bells, strings, drone united. Tone stable, radiant. Not wild celebration, but sacred closure. orchestra fades, only music box and reverb, a single sustained note from cello. Wind returns, softer now. One last chime. Echoes decay over 30 seconds. The lair is still. The mountain remembers.
Thrones rise from silence, low and resonant, echoing across glacial winds. Faint frame drum pulses begin, distant as a heartbeat under snow. Choir of icy haunts shimmer in stereo space. Bass drum hits every 8 seconds, slow, heavy, inevitable. Sustained brass swells blend with wind samples. Sub-bass rumble enters, mimicking tectonic drift.
Descending modal phrase in Dorian mode, repeated in staggered loops. Snare brushes mimic falling snowflakes on stone. High-pitched crystal chimes mark every third cycle.
A solo horn introduces a heroic motif.
3 rising notes resolve downward.
Drone layers thicken, throats singing undertones. Frozen bell clusters.
Tempo subtly increases by 5 BPM. Two rolls build tension beneath the horn line. A reverb becomes longer, more cathedral-like. Echoed horn call answered by lower octave
Strings enter subtly with slopeless and deep. Wind intensify slightly. Full horn section unleashes the heroic theme in harmony. 4 drums,
deep toms and digest strikes in polyrhythmic pen.
choir-like pads swell in major. 6th interval cymbal swells crash like ice breaking. The melody repeats higher, bolder.
Runic chimes flash on downbeats. Drums recede to frame drum and heartbeat thud. Solo horn returns now with ornamented variations. Fiction includes bowed metal sheets for eerie undertones. Distant thunder rumbles beneath the mix. Horns layer staggered on Drigia. Frost-like delay trails linger after each note.
Full ensemble returns with intensified dynamics. Additional horn section in harmonic canon. Drum pattern more complex. Triplet bass pulse with syncopation. Ambient voices hum a wordless in Lydian mode. The theme now feels triumphant, not just stoic.
Sudden hush
heroic theme.
Drums now march like regimented and firm. Brass echoes off stereo panning to simulate wide courtyard acoustics. Faint runes glow brighter in the music's pulse. Bells ring in ancient sequence. 3 low, 2 high. Wind shifts direction, bringing a new chill.
Final chorus, largest in scale. Double horns lay drums, choir at full swell. Melody transposed, up a fourth crescendo into sustained chords. Sendos crash in endless reverb. Gradual decay, horns fade one by one. Drums slow to 1 hit per 15 seconds. Wind returns as dominant force. Final horn note lingers with 30-second reverb.
Last drum hit echoes into silence. Frost chimes twinkle once. Sub-bass fades below hearing. 10 seconds of pure Arctic wind. Then, stillness. Thrones rise from silence, low and resonant, echoing across glacial winds. Faint frame drum pulses begin, distant as a heartbeat under snow. Choir of icy howls shimmer in stereo space. Bass drum hits every 8 seconds, slow, heavy, inevitable. Sustained brass swells blend with wind samples. Sub-bass rumble enters, mimicking tectonic drift. Thrones rise from silence, low and resonant, echoing across glacial winds. Faint frame drum pulses begin, distant as a heartbeat under snow. Choir of icy howls shimmer in stereo space. Bass drum hits every 8 seconds, slow, heavy, inevitable. Sustained brass swells blend with wind samples. Sub-bass rumble enters, mimicking tectonic drift. distant thunder in low drones. Sparse bits echoed like raindrops on a window ledge. A single cello carries a wandering motif, melancholy, unresolved. Faint crackle of a fireplace, stereo panning raindrops.
With a hesitant counter melody, tempo 68 ppm duple meter. The theme unfolds, simple folk like indeed, or an occasional harmonic squeak of an old floorboard. First hint of adventure, a rising interval in the first violin. In mid-range strings, mimicking a traveler, tuning a lute, a brief silence, only rain and wind remain. Full string ensemble swells, warm, resonant, heroic, but not triumphant theme. Now in inversion, rising instead of falling. Subtle pulse from a frame drum, felt not heard clearly. Echoes of distant thunder. Time to downbeat. Time to downbeat. Time to downbeat. Solo violin takes over. Register, more lyrical, a new variation hinting at lost love, forgotten oaths. Spessacator, silly mimic, hoofbeats on wet stone, occasional homagic charm. Full ensemble again, slightly fuller, more vibrato in motion, intensity growing. A single high humming on the violin, like a star through clouds. The faint mutter of conversation.
Sudden drop to near silence. Solo via plays in harmonics, ghostly fragile. A new motif introduced, ascending whole tones, suggesting a mountain pass ahead. Wind rises suddenly. Rain intensifies slightly. Low cello drones on a single note. Ominous but not threatening.
Strings re-enter in staggered layers, each edge entering a beat apart. Tempo holds, but the rhythm feels more purposeful. Theme now transformed, bolder with dotted rhythm, suggesting resolve. A distant horn calling, low brass, fraying across octaves, laid with counter frame. Drum pulses stronger, steady marching pace. Faint Latin chant begins, wordless, ethereal. Avia, avia fortis.
Strings fade gradually, each section dropping out. Solo violin holds last note, decaying into reverb. Rain continues unchanged, the fire crackles. Silence returns. Not emptiness, but peace. But peace.
Repeat time with that 3% volume with randomized delay.
Soft tremolo in lower strings, distant thunder in low drones, sparse bitter coat like raindrops on a window ledge. A single cello carries a wandering motif, melancholy, unresolved. Faint crackle of a fireplace, stereo panning raindrops.
Violas enter with a hesitant counter melody. Tempo 68 BPM duple meter. The theme unfolds, simple folk like in D. Dorian, occasional harmonic squeak of an old floorboard fade.
Soft tremolo in lower strings, distant thunder in low drones, sparse bitter coat like raindrops on a window ledge. A single cello carries a wandering motif, melancholy, unresolved. Faint crackle of a fireplace, stereo panning raindrops.
With a hesitant counter melody. Tempo 68 BPM duple meter. The theme unfolds, simple folk like in D. Dorian, occasional harmonic squeak of an old floorboard.
Soft tremolo in lower strings, distant thunder in low drones, sparse bitter coat like raindrops on a window ledge. A single cello carries a wandering motif, melancholy, unresolved. Faint crackle of a fireplace, stereo panning raindrops.
With a hesitant counter melody. Tempo 68 BPM duple meter. The theme unfolds, simple folk like in D. Dorian, occasional harmonic squeak of an old floorboard.
Music box plays a soft, descending melody in D minor, delicate and slightly detuned, echoing as if in a vast chamber. Low cello drones swell beneath like distant thunder. Rain and wind effects begin, panning left to right. A single violin harmonizes an octave above the music box, trembling on sustained notes. Subtle granular synth pads hum with a metallic resonance.
Music box repeats the theme, with slight various notes skipped, others elongated. Double bass enters with slow, bowed pulses, each on the downbeat, like footsteps on stone. Light lightning crackles, reverb heavy wind chimes made of bone and iron. Toll a solo via weaves a counter melody, mournful yet determined. Choir pad swells faintly in the background, mimicking distant chanting. Tempo subtly increases by 5 BPM. High-pitched music box notes begin to glitch as if affected by magic. Violins rise in a slow glissando. Tension. A deep gong resonates, followed by a pause. Only rain and low hum remain. Then a single chord, DM, held for 8 seconds. Full string ensemble enters, violins tremolo. Music box melody now doubled by a solo violin, but still fragile. Thunderclap syncs with the cymbal swell. Quiet pad rises, harmonizing in Dorian mode. A low brass tone hums beneath, barely audible, like something waking. Music box dims, now only every other bar is played. Cello takes over, melody low and resonant, with vibrato like wind through cracks. Citadel, enter with breathy phrases. A second music box plays an inverted version of the theme in a higher octave. Brain intensifies, mixed with stone crumbling. Strings return with greater force, leading thoughts. Music box plays backward segments, glitching into rhythm. Choir sings sustained I in 7/8, creating unease. A deep drum like a war tocsin strikes every 4 bars. Lightning flashes sync with staccato violins. Sudden silence, only wind and a single dripping sound. Then a slow melody on a music box tuned to a Pythagorean scale. A whisper of Gaelic chant, Argentine falco so care. Our hearts stand in silence. Bass drums drop to subharmonic levels. A high violin plays harmonic notes like stars shimmering through storm clouds. Metallic resonance builds, runes glowing beneath the floor. Both music boxes return, now slightly out of sync. Strings play a rising motif, suggesting ascent toward the tower's peak. Like echoes, mimic bird calls from beyond the storm. The choir now sings in canon, low and reverent. A soft timpani roll suggests approaching destiny. Full case climax, strings choir, low brass, and both music boxes in harmony. Rain begins to fade, final chord held. Demon feeling, lightning strikes in sync with the last note. Music box alone, now slightly warped, repeating the first phrase. Strings recede into silence, rain stops. Wind calms, a faint chime once. Silent.
Music box plays a soft, descending melody in D minor, delicate and slightly detuned, echoing as if in a vast chamber. Low cello drones swell beneath like distant thunder. Rain and wind effects begin, panning left to right. A single violin harmonizes an octave above the music box, trembling on sustained notes. Subtle granular synth pads hum with a metallic resonance.
Music box repeats the theme with slight various notes skipped, others aid.
Music box plays a soft, descending melody in D minor, delicate and slightly detuned, echoing as if in a vast chamber. Low cello drones swell beneath like distant thunder. Rain and wind effects begin, panning left to right. A single violin harmonizes an octave above the music box, trembling on sustained notes. Subtle granular synth pads hum with a metallic resonance.
Music box repeats the theme with slight various notes skipped, others aids.
Music box plays a soft, descending melody in D minor, delicate and slightly detuned, echoing as if in a vast chamber. Low cello drones swell beneath like distant thunder. Rain and wind effects begin, panning left to right. A single violin harmonizes an octave above the music box, trembling on sustained notes. Subtle granular synth pads hum with a metallic resonance.
Music box repeats the theme with slight various notes skipped, others ail.
Music box plays a soft, descending melody in D minor, delicate and slightly detuned, echoing as if in a vast chamber. Low cello drones swell beneath like distant thunder. Rain and wind effects begin, panning left to right. A single violin harmonizes an octave above the music box, trembling on sustained notes. Subtle granular synth pads hum with a metallic resonance.
Music box box repeats the theme with slight various notes skipped, others added, and